I'm going to change it up this week and I'm going to talk about a book that I just finished reading, but the video really isn't about a book review. What I really want to do is talk about the book, but contextualize it in a way that you can take actionable insights. Otherwise, what's the point? We don't read books like this for entertainment value. So if you haven't guessed, the book is The End of Marketing, Humanizing Your Brand in the Age of Social Media and AI, written by Carlos Gil. Now, Carlos is actually a personal friend of mine. I know his family. He knows my family. We even went to each other's homes before. We've been to a 49ers game together. And what I admire about Carlos is his passion. And if you know Carlos, then you know exactly what I mean. So I want to get into the book. I want to talk about a couple things that really spoke to me as a marketer, something that I hold very close to my heart as it relates to social media, content marketing, digital marketing in general. Now, Carlos does a really good job at contextualizing marketing in a way that makes it relevant to most audiences. And he equates it to things that he cares about, like professional wrestling. Now, in chapter 3, he talks about brands being likable, but also being savage like Randy. Now, he was, of course, talking about Randy, the Macho Man Savage. And I completely relate, although I was a Hulkamaniac growing up watching WWF, NWA, and AWA, fan of the early 80s. And I can really appreciate his analogies. I personally was more of a Tito Santana and Jimmy the Superfly Snuka fan, but I'll digress. Now, his book goes pretty deep in everything from audiences, specific social platforms, organic reach, paid reach, influencer marketing, employee advocacy, and really so much more. Now, there was one portion of the book that really spoke to me again, and on the surface, it seems very intuitive, but surprisingly, and still today, many companies don't follow these 5 basic principles. So I want to talk about these principles, but I want to do so from my perspective, because I agree with about 95, 96% of what Carlos says in the book, and there are some things that I just have a different point of view. Now, the first principle is to be real. Now, it seems straightforward, and it kind of is, but it isn't, because being real means taking risks. It means taking a stand for what you believe in, not being afraid to align your narrative to a larger cultural issue. The problem is that many companies don't know what it means to be real, mainly because they don't know yet what they stand for. Now, the second principle is to be relevant. And as I was reading this, it reminded me of Super Bowl 47 between the Baltimore Ravens and the 49ers. And if you missed that Super Bowl, the 49ers were down about 18 points at halftime. The power went out for about 30 minutes or so, and the infamous Oreo tweet happened. Now, I actually missed that tweet because I was about 5 IPAs in and really wasn't in the best mood. Now, at that time, the tweet was a success. And since then, every brand has tried to do the same thing and hijack every cultural event in order to reach larger audiences, and it makes sense. Now, the issue is they aren't doing a really good job at it because they aren't being true to their real audience. The third principle is to don't sell. Now, I don't necessarily agree with Carlos on this point, and maybe it's just a matter of semantics, but I do understand what Carlos means by not selling. He gives really good examples of how DJ Khaled weaves in Ciroc vodka into his daily storytelling, which is definitely good practice for both consumer brands as well as B2B companies. The fourth principle is to celebrate success. And in this context, Carlos is talking about social listening and essentially building brand advocacy with customers. So in essence, when they buy a product, talk about it online, write a review on Amazon, or if you're a B2B company and there's a review on G2 Crowd or others, what Carlos is saying is that brands need to acknowledge it and celebrate it. And the last principle is to win more. And winning can mean a lot of different things to different people. For me, it's destroying the competition by any means necessary. Better content, better stories, better influencer programs, better social customer service, because when you're better than your competitors, you sell more products. And when that happens, you really do win. The only caveat is that you have to have a good product too. What I love about this book is that it's applicable to pretty much all audiences. Marketing managers, entrepreneurs, small business owners, even college students. You can essentially read this book and know just about everything you need to do to be successful using social media, not just for the company you work for, but it also applies to building your own brand as well. In fact, I've actually decided to make this book mandatory reading for my class at San Jose State next semester. So that wraps up our time together. I highly recommend you get this book on Amazon. You just Google Carlos's name and you'll find it. He's pretty much in every platform. And if you do, let him know that I was the one who influenced you to get it. No, I don't get a commission or anything like that. So anyhow, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your positive feedback and for watching and sharing my videos. Please be safe, please be healthy, and I'll see you next time.